So welcome everyone to the Global Goddess Fest, where men and women are tuning in to receive education, connect with global leaders, and gain inspiration on creating the life of their dreams. So today I'm so excited. We have Sofiah Thom here, our special guest tuning in from Costa Rica, and she's going to be sharing and talking about embodying love as the goddess. And we'll also be talking about her journey to getting to this point of sharing her magic in the world, and just getting a little bit of insight. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Rae. I'm so honored to be here.
Awesome. And so for all of our viewers that don't know who Sofiah Thom is, she is this amazing creative muse and mentor, embodiment coach and dancer who's committed to guiding women to connect with their brilliance. She's the creator of Temple Body Art School of Sacred Sensuality and Dance, which offers certification training, online and in-person training to help women gain access to their creative potential and live their yes, which, that feels so good. Yes, please. She's also the co-founder of the Path of the Priestess book, Discover Your Divine Purpose. And alongside her husband, Brendan, Sofiah co-founded Envision Festival in Costa Rica, which is a conscious festival celebrating music, art, and sacred movement. Together, they co-founded and run Danyasa, an eco-retreat in the beautiful beach town of Dominical, Costa Rica. So wonderful having you here. I think there's so much magic that you have to share with the world, and I mean, you can see it just in everything you've done thus far. So thank you for being here and bringing your energy to the Global Goddess Fest.
Thank you for creating. It's so powerful to use the sacred technology to bring people together in the same way that festivals do. So I say, video is like the next best thing to being in the flesh. So yeah, thanks for having me here.
Definitely. And one thing that I heard recently, this is kind of off topic, but there's a woman that's talking about, this whole world of, like, we have this online world that is totally being created, and now there's like automation, and so you can look at it in a way of like, oh, there's these robots, or you can also look at it in the way where, like, we're setting up our work lives so that way we can actually spend more time in person and connecting. And so that was just a beautiful thing I saw read recently, and I was like, yeah, that's totally it. And like, let's merge these two worlds, and it doesn't have to be a scary thing or this thing where we're only in one world or the other, but really finding that bridge.
Definitely. I mean, it makes us be able to create the bridges with being global. And, that's what's been such a huge gift and tool for me living here. I mean, I've lived in the jungle for 10 years. And so to be able to live here and have this as my base, but still be so connected is incredible.
It is. And I feel like we all are desiring that. We can't live in 1,000 places all the time. So now we get to experience different cultures and, like, more rapidly learn from each other as we're living our different lives.
Definitely.
Very cool. Well, the first question I have for you is why, so a lot of your work is around goddess archetypes, and why do you think it's important that women step in and, like, try on and embody these different archetypes in today's world?
That's a great question. Yeah, it really, I believe that we all carry these different archetypes or energies within us. And so as we explore these different archetypes of the goddesses as a map, it really helps for us to expand into new movement repertoire. So it really helps us, for instance, what's coming to me is Durga, so the warrior goddess. I've been working with her for many, many years. And I actually worked with her before I even knew about the Hindu goddesses. So I work with mostly Hindu, and then I'll be sharing about Kuan Yin today too, who is a Buddhist deity. But really, there are so many different archetypes of different cultures from all over the world. And ultimately, there's a frequency that each of them hold. And it's really important for us to be fully whole and to be able to navigate in this world, in this matrix, that we understand these different aspects of how to move through the world in different circumstances. And so, for instance, with the graceful warrior, I like to call her, is really the ability to unify the masculine and the feminine, to be able to pull back a bow and arrow, to find the sort of integrity, to be able to cut through and have that discernment, to really be able to forge our pathway and create a life that we dream of. So that's just one aspect of, you know, embodying, for instance, the warrior goddess. So yeah, it really helps us to become more alchemical as well, like just like to have all these different faces of the goddess and to understand them within ourselves really helps us to be able to show up in every circumstance in our life more fully.
So it's like, when I hear that, it's really for every single type of woman, whether you're living in the jungle or you're a CEO in New York, right? Like,
Definitely.
anyone can use this work. And
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And for men too. I mean, I heard you say, you know, at the beginning, this is for men and women. And I do have, you know, it's interesting because I have had a couple men, you know, do my online courses and really wanting to embody more of the goddess energy and that feminine aspect, because I believe that, you know, we all need to strengthen the masculine and the feminine within us. And yet, you know, my calling, my purpose right now is really strongly with women, and especially around the womb wisdom, and so really reclaiming sexual sovereignty. And so around that, it is, you know, I'm teaching through the lens of the goddess and through the lens of really working with women specifically. But this work can definitely be so powerful for men and women, you know, even if I'm offering it to you even today, you know, through the lens of offering for women. And I do talk about the yoni, being the Sanskrit word for vagina. But I think that, you know, even for men listening to this, it's so important. Like, you're obviously here because you're here to worship the goddess and the divine. And so I honor you. And I'm always, you know, in this movement of the divine feminine that is so huge right now. And I'm so honored to be at the forefront. It is so essential that we really continue to strengthen the understanding that we honor the men as well. It's not about like, okay, the women are rising up and we're leaving the men. Like, definitely, I feel the men are needing more support as well. And I'm really looking at how I can bring in different people to support the men. But I feel that this is sacred feminism, as Sally Kempton would say, one of my teachers and authors of an incredible book, Awakening Shakti, that I use a lot for my work. And she speaks of it as sacred feminism. And I just love this. I love this theme because I feel that this is where we are in our culture and our society right now, is really understanding that it's about honoring the sacred feminine, ultimately. And with that, we honor the divine masculine as well. There has to be Shiva and Shakti. And so it's, you know, I think just understanding about the masculine and the feminine, and Tantra is very much the foundation of my work and my philosophy, which, you know, a lot of people just know Tantra to be around sex. But ultimately, it's really about the union of the masculine and the feminine, and understanding the body as a temple, understanding that we are an instrument of the divine. And so my work is so much around self-care and nurturing and movement and embodiment, and really, you know, loving our bodies, because this is our temple. This is the one temple we have in this life to rock it, you know, and to like really make our world into what we see and what we dream. And so we need this vehicle to be at its highest vibration, just like a car, you know, has to be tuned up. It needs to have its oil changed. It needs to be driven every so often to keep it going. Like, we need to really move our bodies in certain ways to keep the energy flowing, to keep that Shakti, that feminine creative life force moving through us. So it's all about the body, and we all need that in this life.
Most definitely. Yeah, I'm really excited to dive into your sample practice of movement. So we'll get to that at the end. Um, I'm curious in like what was your path to getting here? What led you to getting involved with goddess work? Is this something that you've always been interested in, or
Mm.
is there a point?
Well, what comes to me is an image of me when I was 3, dressed up as Wonder Woman. And actually, I've really been feeling into that lately. I've been absolutely obsessed with the new Wonder Woman movie. If you haven't seen it, you have to see it. And again, it's such the archetype of the warrior goddess, and of the, you know, that graceful warrior, and just like here on such a purpose to save the world. And I think, and I know I've always felt that. I've always just, thankfully, I came in with a head start. I really believe. I mean, I was born into a family of healers, and also 4th generation in a spiritual organization. So I came in with kind of an understanding that there was something beyond myself that we could connect to, that we could be guided by, that we could surrender to. And so I'm so grateful to have that as my foundation, because from a very young age, I was aware and conscious of listening to something beyond my mind. And I was aware at a young age that I was here to heal on some level. I was also just absolutely obsessed with dance for my whole entire life. So, not to say I've always been there. I mean, there were times I was so shy, and you know, it's been quite a ride to get to where I am today. I'm 41, and I've definitely moved through many initiations and pathways. And I think, you know, like I was saying, before I even knew about the Hindu goddesses, I, you know, really any of the goddesses, the Greek goddesses, I knew my name. So my name, Sophia, is the goddess of wisdom and creativity. So I knew that growing up. So I was aware of that as well. And my father would receive all of these mudras in hand positions. He does applied kinesiology. And so it's muscle testing with mudras. And so it's the body telling a story through the mudras. And I just knew from a very young age that I wanted to create like my own kind of mudra dance. And so, you know, that was there. And it was just like all these little pieces. It's, you know, I really feel that life is about following your yes. It's really like, you know, you have this little thing, okay, I feel this, and you follow that for a moment, and then something opens up and you take another stepping stone. And so just continuing to follow what feels good in the body. And I went to study dance therapy at Naropa, and Naropa is a Buddhist liberal arts school. So I think that's also really where I connected to Kuan Yin and understanding Buddhism as really this place of understanding the witness consciousness, and how important it is to be in this self-inquiry in our lives. It was like 2 years of just like in a constant workshop at university. And then from there kind of was guided to study even deeper into expressive healing arts. And so it wasn't so much the goddess archetypes, but through my journey of following my passion of dance and healing, I then just really strengthened my own relationship to my inner guidance. and my essence, and really, sharing that through my dance. So as I've been a performer for most of my life too. And for me, it's really, performing is about being a channel, really, having a clear intention of what I want to bring through me, and offering that. And it's really most of the time about love. So just embodying love and bringing through this frequency and this expression of love, and to share that through my dance and through my presence. And so then from there, really seeing how important the graceful warrior is, the warrior, the discernment, the cutting through, as in my own life, just in my 20s, in my early 30s, like exploring and needing that power, that discernment, that the no in order to live my yes. And so, that was really, really strong. And I still teach with that. But then it was like really, I started doing yoga teacher trainings and training teachers. And so weaving in the expressive healing arts work and more of the dance with the yoga. And then a friend of mine, Ashley Sargent, who I was teaching with, introduced me to Awakening Shakti, Sally Kempton's book. And it just blew me wide open. I was like, wait, there's a map for this. There's like a whole book. There's all these goddesses that I already have experienced and known. And it was just like all right there. And it was just something clicked. And it was like the map was already there, and I could just, begin to call in these different archetypes and work with them, with people. And they're already here, they already have a face, they already are known. And so it's just bringing them into being. And so it was a really powerful kind of remembrance, and just to see like, wow, I'd already been working with Durga and Kali and these different aspects of the goddess without even knowing it. So I think that's a really big piece of what I'm here to teach, is that ultimately we actually do have the power to remember everything, that we have everything inside of us. And it's really about getting out of our own way to listen and to hear the whispers that are coming through. And so really just, being on this path of remembrance and allowing these different energies to guide us and to awaken us.
I love that. And so you were kind of tapping into, being in your 20s and 30s, early 30s, and that power of saying no. If you had advice for that younger you, what would you tell her? Now knowing, where you're at and what you've done.
Yeah, it's really to listen to the subtle whispers, because they are usually right there. If something doesn't feel like a full body yes, then really taking a moment to pause and to listen to the whispers, and to really become aware, to bring that witness consciousness. Okay, why am I saying yes to something if it doesn't feel completely right? Because I think that's what happens a lot is, we're a yes, we're trained to say yes and to follow along with what everyone says we should do, and to really like stand up and be like, no, this is actually not me. Like my life is this, like my passion is this. And so to be able to really honor those little whispers and to recognize, when they show up, because really it's about tuning and polishing an inner compass. So we all have this inner compass, but if we don't listen and we just kind of keep going along, even though there's that little nagging. I mean, does anyone out there feel that? Does anyone know what I'm talking about? It's like you're going along, you're like well, it's comfortable here. I mean, I'll say an example, for instance, and this hasn't been that long ago, but so I was saying I was doing yoga teacher trainings from like 2012 basically till last year. And the first one that I ever did, it almost fell through as we were putting it together. And it was really the man I was training with. I was able to do this yoga teacher training because he had the credentials. And I was still kind of working my way up there. So we almost didn't do it. And in that moment when we almost didn't do it, I was actually relieved. And this voice inside was like, Sofiah, you don't need him. You actually need to birth your own school, your own training. So I was aware of that, and I kind of got a little excited, but I was really scared. And I was like, I don't know, but I was feeling like, okay, I could do this. And then everything shifted and he was like, okay, let's do it. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And I went into that full yoga world. And it was great. And it gave me a lot to stand on. But every time that I would do a different training, I would get, something would come to me of like, it's not quite there. And it just kept shifting and changing. And I kept feeling that niggling. And then it was really, everything kept shifting, and even the trainings were getting smaller, and I was like, okay, there's a reason for this, and then I actually got pregnant last year twice. And the second time I was pregnant, I just got such a strong voice that came through. It was like, you need to stop every collaboration. You need to clear your calendar, and you need to birth your school. It was just like, the voice of Goddess has spoken. And I thought I would be 6 months pregnant, like doing my first training, but I was just like, okay, yes, I'm going to do it, and cleared everything. And then I ended up actually miscarrying very intensely. And and it was such an initiation, but it was like during that whole experience, it just gave me this strong knowing of like, yes, okay, finally. And like that little whisper I'd heard that whole time, it was like, no time for that, and then all the energy that's come through to birth my school, which has really just been this past year. So, and with that, I just want to say, it's like, of course, the last 5 years have given me the confidence, have given me all the tools I needed, have helped me. I'm much more online now. I know how to market myself. It's like I have all the pieces now, and the timing I feel is really right. I feel like women are ready and they are showing up. So who knows? I think too, when we're visionaries and we see something, we don't always know when that something is supposed to happen too. So there's this interesting dance of patience with divine timing, but then listening at the same time, and taking that step when you feel that step. So it's really, the more you can listen and trust in the wisdom of your body, and trust in the whispers that come through, and allow that to be your inner compass, magic will unfold. You can't even plan your life as well as you imagine when you really just let go and allow this inner compass to guide you.
I love that. Thank you for sharing. It's quite the journey you've been on, that's for sure. So I'd love to hear, so that's kind of the spark of what created your school and this goddess work, and it's just so beautiful, and you can really tell and feel that like women are like, yes, please, more. And I love how you've incorporated like the mudras from your father, and just allowing it to like organically form. And I think that's such a beautiful inspiration and example for all of us to really like tap into what do we already have. Maybe we don't need to go get all of these trainings and this and that and do all this stuff, but like actually just drop down into ourselves and be like, okay, what are the tools that I've been given already? Because it's probably a whole toolbox. I'm probably using like half of them, if that. So I'd love to hear about like what was the spark in creating an Envision Festival.
I feel like Envision, well, Danyasa, my eco retreat here with my husband, I think, well, that was my first baby. And Envision was my second baby. And it was actually, I was performing and teaching at Bali Spirit Festival in 2009. And I was just in heaven there. I was just like, yes, this is amazing. And just all these countries coming together. And there was actually no alcohol, no drugs. Like, it was just, we actually like finished at like 11 o'clock at night. And, you know, it was a very different kind of experience. And it was so beautiful. So that really gave me a huge inspiration. I had only been living in Costa Rica for probably about 2.5 years at that point, and I was so isolated. I was so alone. I was actually like pretty unhappy. Like, I had the dream in many ways, but I was totally alone. I didn't have my tribe here. Dominical was a surf town back then. It like was not a healing arts conscious little town. So I came back just supercharged, like, I want to create something like this here, and didn't really know what that meant, and kind of let that go. And actually we were preparing our wedding, my husband and I. So 2010, we got married, and we actually ended up having a 3-day festival wedding. So this was back when, right before Beats Antique blew up. They played at our wedding. We had Rena Jones, we had Govinda, Marty Patti, probably some of these names you know from other festivals now, but it was so special. Our friend Lady Rizzo came, and they put on this incredible show for us, and music, and our families came together, and friends, probably about 200 people. So it ended up being 3 days, and the third day we actually went to this little bar in Dominical, Malacatu. It's where I threw my bouquet, and even had Beats play there. So we really like integrated the town and the area with it. And our friend Josh, who owns Maracatu, came to our wedding and experienced it, and he was just blown away. And so after that, he actually came to us, and he was like, so there's a couple of people from Colorado that want to start this festival here. And I mean, I don't really know what I'm doing. And I'm like, I went to your wedding. I'm like, if anyone knows what they're doing, like, we should do this together. Like, do you guys want to put on a festival? And we were just like, I don't know. And it didn't take long. We were like, well, I guess we do know how to put it on. You know, we like have all the connections, because my husband's also been in like the string cheese world and kind of like that whole world for many, many years. And we've been going to Burning Man for like 10 years, 15 years for him. So we're like, well, if you want to go, you have to come to Burning Man and LIB, Lightning in a Bottle. Those were kind of like our two that we would be like really being inspired, you know, allowing their ways to inspire us. So yeah, we got them to go to Burning Man, and then we ended up doing the first one here in Dominical, like in the back of our property, using our studio for the workshops. And we had about 800 people, and it was amazing. And it was really like, my husband came up with the name, and you know, I'm all about, like, one of the things I teach is called the dream canvas, and it's really recognizing that we have the power to dream, you know, to dance our dreams across the canvas of our days. It's like to really recognize how powerful our mind, our beliefs, our actions are. And so with Envision, I got to really, you know, create these ceremonies, these spaces of helping people to really drop in, what is it you want to create? And, you know, let's do that together in community here. And I was really holding the seed personally. We were on our property, and I was like, you know, we had visions of expanding Danyasa at that point too. And so, you know, I was like, okay, all these dream seeds are getting like danced into our land. And now actually we have our swimming pool right there, and we've like expanded our retreat center. So it's so amazing to know that it birthed there. Yeah.
I love that story. That's beautiful and similar, organic, um, divinely led to just do it. Through all of this, what are some of like the hurdles and like challenges that you've been through, and what did you do in those times where you felt like nothing is coming together, or, those like lower points?
Mm. Well, surrender is a big one. Um, yeah. Well, one of the biggest challenges with Envision, even, was actually just letting go of it, actually, because my husband and I just realized we produced it for 3 years, but there was just a lot of different directions with, the founders that created it. And if we're not fully aligned, it sucks energy. And we only have a certain amount of Shakti, of creative life force, and we're all here to put our energy into different things. And we really felt we wanted to start a family, and we wanted to expand our retreat center, and I wanted to focus on my work, and it was like, we can't do all these things. And so we really were called to bow out of Envision as producers, and it was really hard, because when you birth something and then you have to let it go. I mean, I think it's probably pretty similar, like when you have children and you're like, okay, that you've got a life of your own. And I think that's really like this really challenge that I had with Envision, was to surrender it and to let it's going to be what it's going to be, and it's not going to be what I necessarily envisioned, and I have to just trust that. And really, I still go and I offer my art, and but I get to really put my energy that in a place that feels like a total yes. And so what helped me was actually like creating distance, and for a minute there, and just like separating. But it was definitely a hard one, but really trusting that inner voice and that knowing, and recognizing, the ego that comes in and the attachment, and having to just like keep letting that go. So surrender and trust are huge, huge practices, I think, in any challenge that arises. And just to come back to ourselves and to what fills us up, and coming from that place. So that's what's most present here now. And I feel like it's very connected to my journey of then getting pregnant, and having these miscarriages, and having to really let go, but like feeling the grief and feeling all the emotions, and then really tapping into that creative power that I have, and funneling it, seeing the power that I have to be actually, we have the power to direct our creative energy through us. And so using initiations, using challenges to grow. And that's what I am just such an advocate for, is really trusting that whatever arises in our lives is here to teach us and to guide us. And so the more that we can face it, and face our shadow, and face whatever is arising, and move through it with grace, and bring the shadow into the light, the more that we can really move forward in a direction that is totally in alignment with who we are and what we're here to offer.
I love that. Well, I think that's a perfect transition into our movement with Kuan Yin, and goddess of love and compassion, and how we can stand true in ourselves, and sharing that with the world, and let it move through our body. So
Yeah, thanks, Ray. I know when you asked me, to share something, I was like, I can go in all these different directions, um, and I think for what is most alive for me right now is Kuan Yin. Mm, yeah, I've also just, I just want to share, like, recently, a lot of people in my life have cancer, and um, really intense, traumas that are arising, and like really intense stuff that is so devastating. And, I've really kind of been in this grieving place. And just, it's like even more of an affirmation of like how important this inner work is, because it's like 80% of our success of our life is the inner work, and 20% is the outer work. I mean, it's really like we have to be able to let go of what is gripping us, of what is getting in the way of us being in connection to love. And so I really felt cool to bring Kuan Yin. And I actually have this incredible Kuan Yin that I bought my husband, actually. He lets me bring it around. And yeah, Kuan Yin so she's the feminine deity, Buddhist deity. So she's really like the feminine aspect of Buddha. And the rose quartz represents unconditional love. And she's pouring this elixir, this healing elixir, into her dragon. So I wanted to cool her forth. And I even have this amazing Kuan Yin oil, anointing oil. So as I put it on with jasmine, sandalwood, patchouli, jojoba, rose, vanilla, ylang ylang, you can just imagine through the virtual that you're also being anointed. And yeah, I usually would have music. I'm going to offer you a beautiful practice as well with Kuan Yin as an offering to all of you. But I think today I'll just guide us through a movement, meditation, and I also have these amazing Kuan Yin cards, Irelan Fairchild, and I wanted to choose one for us right now that I will bring through in the practice. So just closing your eyes wherever you are, connecting into your breath and really settling into your seat, and just feeling all of my words and Ray's words in the conversation, just letting them settle down and noticing what has arisen, what has been sparked or triggered, any memories, any sensations in the body. And beginning to breathe, filling up your body with your inhale, breathing in love, and exhaling love. And for whatever we're needing here collectively, I'm going to choose a card, a message that I will bring through for all of us. What is it that we're needing right now? So we picked the Shining Lotus. And I actually don't know this one, so I'll just take a few words. But I invite you then just to really close your eyes, go back inside, and imagine that you have a lotus flower in your pelvic floor, a shining lotus flower. There are times when it makes sense to be discreet until you find your inner strength so that you feel empowered enough to share your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs without wavering, even in the face of challenge by another. At other times, we benefit ourselves and others by taking a risk and allowing the inner lotus blossom of our true self to shine forth for all to behold. Have you been hiding in the spiritual closet? So this is all about letting yourself shine, letting your brilliance shine. So perfect alignment. So here, as you connect into this red shining jewel lotus, I want you to also imagine that you have a hollow bamboo staff coming from your pelvic floor all the way up through your central channel. Your Sushumna in Tantra, your hollow bamboo flute, this empty vessel that you get to fill with creative spirit and with your intentions. From your lotus flower, see the roots of your lotus flower and follow them down with your awareness. Follow them down through the chair, or cushion, or floor and into the earth underneath you. With each exhale, allowing your roots to go down deeper into Mama Gaia, into Mother Earth, who so generously supports us and offers her resources. Feel yourself settling down into the earth, through the layers, going deeper and deeper, feeling yourself relaxing deeper and deeper until you see this beautiful pink crystalline rose quartz crystal is emanating love, unconditional love of the mother. And wrap your lotus roots around her. Feel her unconditional love. And breathe in her love. Infuse it into your roots. And as you exhale, offering anything that you are ready to release that gets in the way of you listening, that gets in the way of you shining your brilliance and sharing your love with the world. Offer it to be transmuted with each exhale. Let's actually exhale through the mouth 3 times. So breathing in. Releasing and emptying out. And breathing in this love of the Divine Mother, absolute unconditional love and acceptance. Feel this love, this acceptance, this compassion. Breathe it in, infuse it into your roots. And stay connected here, stay connected to her, and begin to bring your awareness back up the roots. And see these roots like an umbilical cord, glowing, pulsing with blood, connecting your womb and your body to the womb of the mother. And follow your roots back up the earth, through the different layers of the earth. Slowly breathing until you reach your lotus flower. And for women, I like to call this the lotus flower yoni portal. It's the portal, the opening into our temple body. And take one hand on your yoni and one hand on your heart. And begin to pulse now. Pulse the petals of your lotus flower and bring that beautiful unconditional love up, up, up through the hollow bamboo. Pull the petals of your lotus flower up the hollow bamboo core and bring that love into your womb space, right below your belly button, and invite any movements here. Breathing and moving. Invite the movements as you invite this earth energy and this love into your womb space, this space of creation. What are you desiring to create from your love? Feel into this and know that you have the power to create whatever you are holding and dreaming of and desiring. Invite some sounds as you invite movement, breath, and sound. Pulsing the petals of your lotus flower, pulling the energy up into your womb space. And bringing that energy from your womb and connecting it with your heart. Feel that there's a heart in your womb, and feel the connection and relationship between your heart and your womb. And imagine this beautiful lotus flower now in your heart. This is green and pink crystalline heart, lotus heart. And feel the petals expanding and widening, opening up. And let's invite the Bija sound mantra. So there's each chakra has a sound that helps to open and balance and activate. So let's invite the sound for the heart, which is yum, like yummy, Y-A-M. So let's do 3 yums as we connect our wombs to our hearts and feel this love flowing through us. Inhaling. Feel the vibration of sound. Feel the jewel in the lotus that you are, your value, your preciousness, the gifts that you hold. The world deserves your gifts. The world desires your gifts, your love to share, to shine. So staying connected here, I'm going to invite us to continue to rock here, to move, kind of rock your pelvis forward and back and opening up your heart, feeling connection to your yoni, feeling connection to the earth, feeling connection to this unconditional love. And now imagine above you, above your crown, up in the sky, in the celestial sky, is Kuan Yin, is this beautiful Buddhist deity up there with her dragon, emanating the same love that this rose quartz crystal holds. And she's holding this pink vase that is filled with this pink crystalline healing salve. And she begins to gently, gracefully pour this salve from above. And it drops down slowly into the crown of our heads and down through our mind, healing all the thoughts and all the beliefs and all the ways that we hold ourselves back, and dripping through our third eye and into our throat, healing all the times that we didn't speak up, that we held our truth back. Feeling the salve dripping down through our throats and into our hearts. And here, feel your jewel in the lotus. I'm going to invite us through this beautiful mantra that is M.Anifest, which you may have heard. It means the jewel in the lotus. And this is Kuan Yin's mantra. So let us repeat this, and we'll do it 9 times. Really invite yourself to sing, invite yourself to sound. And I invite you, if you feel, to stand even and to move. We can also stand. And feel your feet rooted on the earth. And we can feel ourselves more fluid as we stand, really inviting this shining lotus that we are, the jewel in the lotus, to shine. Breathing in and exhaling. Om Mani Padme Hum. 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 Let's do 3 more. This time I invite you to move your arms, to feel this extension from your heart, from your lotus heart, out through your arms and out through the palms of your hands. And if there's anywhere on your body that's needing extra love, you can take your hands there. You can shower yourself with this love as we chant 3 more times. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Taking your hands into a lotus flower. So you bring your palms together, thumbs together, and open it up. Beautiful. And then take it above your crown and really feel this connection with Kuan Yin, with this beautiful healing soul. And bringing it down through your third eye, bringing your lotus flower in front of your face, in front of your throat, and down in front of your heart. And making a commitment to yourself in this moment to shine your lotus heart, to shine your gifts in any way that feels like a stretch for you, that feels like you're stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something that you really dream of. Dare to do what you dream of. How can you take that little step closer into truly living your yes? Recognizing that you are a unique fingerprint of the goddess. And the world desires and needs your brilliance. We need your gifts to birth this new paradigm, one that is rooted in love and guided by grace. We have a choice in every moment. Do we choose love or do we choose fear? And sealing it in, bring your hands over our womb space, our sacral chakra. It's this beautiful mudra. Take your thumbs together, creating like a jewel, placing it over the womb. And rooting down, feel your legs rooted, your feet rooted. Feel this connection from your yoni, from your pelvic floor, all the way into Mama Gaia. Feel this rooted in love, and know that you can always connect in with her. And then pulsing the petals of your lotus flower yoni portal, just closing this practice, sealing it in. Saying yes. Thank you.
Ah, that was so beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.
It's amazing what movement can do.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
all of our viewers that are here that just enjoyed that little sample practice, um, like Sofiah mentioned earlier, she's going to be offering her Kuan Yin module from her online journey, Awakening the Goddess. So you can dive deeper into this work, and we'll have links to her website and the school so you can check out more. And just taking this energy with you throughout the rest of your day and your week. And what a gift. Thank you so much, Sofiah.
Thank you for spearheading this and gathering us. It's just so beautiful, all the different ways that we're gathering and connecting and raising the vibration. So thank you so much.
Yes.
And thank you to all of you for being here and saying yes.
Yeah, saying yes already. Keep saying yes. Well, we'll see you all next time. Have a good one.
Thank you. Ciao.